Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 2 of the First Half Sports Talk Show. This is your boy Brad, aka Big Mocha, alongside my co-host.
Jaden, aka Jaden Props.
Let's get into this episode number 2. We've got a great episode for you guys today. Starting off, a little bit of a controversial weekend this weekend, Jaden. I don't know if you watched Saturday's game against the for the Cowboys versus the Lions, but there was a
Of
very, very big
course.
controversial call at the end with the refs calling an eligible receiver downfield for that 2-point conversion. I believe it was Eric Dicker who was the one who caught it, and he was reported in as eligible, but Brad Allen and his amazing referee crew that they have down there, who've missed, I don't know, another 3 other calls this season on top of that. They didn't register him, or they didn't recognize he reported himself as eligible, and then they called him on that, even though he was lined up eligibly. The person that they thought was reporting eligible wasn't even in an eligible spot to be lined up in, because he was next to the center. Next, he was guard. He was not eligible whatsoever. And then they went ahead and said that excuse that he didn't
Yeah.
know, that he didn't register, even though every camera angle of it is him walking up to the ref, swiping his shirt, registering as eligible receiver. And one thing I didn't even know about either was, before the games, the head coaches, they have to go over with the refs any potential new formations or trick plays that they might come and do this game for that specific reason, so they don't get called for an illegal formation or ineligible man or something like that. But regardless of all of that prep work, it's still, the refs said, "Fuck it, we're gonna throw the flag and call it." And that lost the Lions the game, and that won the Cowboys the game, I think, arguably.
Do
How
you
did you?
like do you like how the Lions even went for two, or you think they should have just kicked the extra point and let it go in OT?
I mean, honestly, after after that call, I would have just kicked it. I would have just kicked it and tied it. I mean, because you had them up until that point anyway, so you had a good chance of coming into overtime and beating them and winning. Um, you just have to trust your defense in that aspect. I understand that's not how, the Lions and Dan Campbell have played all year. They play to win, they play to kill. But if I was in his shoes, I would have kicked it just to get that surefire thing. There was so much on the line there, which is the reason why that call was so bogus and why it's so controversial, anyways, because of how much was on the line of it in the first place. So I would have just kicked it, but I think in the heat of the moment, it's just the heat of the moment, so they just kept going for it. You know what I'm saying?
A
They were
lot of
already
these
mad, fired
coaches,
up.
yeah, exactly. A lot of these coaches, I don't know if you've noticed, I mean, they just keep going for it. And sometimes it's like, oh, if you guys would have just kicked like two or three field goals instead of just going for it every time, you would have rather been winning or would have gone to OT or I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, that's the analytical side of football that I feel like the past like 2 seasons have been really focused on, rather than prior. And I think that's also because a lot of, sports betting is becoming more and more. So that everybody's got to look at the analytics and the data this, the numbers that. Nobody's just playing football anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
But I mean, I agree with going for the 2 point in the first place and going for the win. They definitely would have had it if the refs didn't fuck them over on that one. But then afterwards, I mean, yeah, I would have just kicked it, went to OT, and then just gave it everything I had in OT and tried to ruin Jimmy Johnson's inductee night. Which, I had a question on that. Do you think, because he got inducted into Hall of Fame, because Jerry Jones seemingly squashed this Jimmy Johnson beef that he had, whatever they had going back and forth, he seemingly squashed it? Is this the Cowboys curse? Is it over? Do you think that doing that, do you think that the way they won last night, regardless, however you may think the win was, do you think that was the curse broken? Like the
Yeah.
Cubs back in 2016? Or was it,
I think
you know
it
what I'm
could
saying?
be. I think it could be because honestly, I do think it's Dallas's year. But I mean, like you said, they always just. I don't know if they just beat themselves usually in the playoffs. I mean, it's what seems to happen. Is the play calling is horrible. I mean, is McCarthy really the guy? I don't know.
If they don't make it to the NFC Championship round this season, then I really don't think he'll be in it. And the one thing that's killing, like you were saying, like we were talking about before, is the clock management and the play calling on that aspect, on that side of the ball, that really messes them up, because they'll go into the fourth quarter with a lead. Last night they went into it with a lead I think that they got the ball with like 5 minutes left, and then they went to go run the clock down, and then only ran down like a minute and a half of it. Like they just when they need to run the clock down and drain it, they just don't do it fast enough, or in a position where they need to drain the clock and score to not have the opponent give enough time to go back down the field, a la the Dolphins game the previous week. It's just those decisions and those play calls by Mike McCarthy, it bites him in the ass every year, every season, every game. When it comes down to something like that, it usually comes down to Mike McCarthy. That's why everybody's been still questioning him this year, regardless of how great of a season they've had as a team. Dak has had as a QB under McCarthy as his head play caller this year. The big thing, everything anybody's going to talk about anytime they lose is Mike McCarthy's decision making, is that team's decision making, because that and like you said, they really kind of only beat themselves. It's the only way that they lose essentially, is beating themselves, or something dumb where they call a timeout where they shouldn't, or they don't call a timeout, or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Speaking of that, though, who do you got for your Super Bowl picks this year?
It's fine. I was just about to ask you because I heard you talk about you. I heard you say you got Dallas. To be honest with you, my
I
picks,
don't know.
if you would ask me at the beginning of the season, I would have said probably the 49ers and the Dolphins. I think that's probably what I would have said. If you ask me right now, I'm gonna say Ravens.
I like that.
I want to say Ravens, and I want to say the Lions. Even though
I
they
like the
lost,
Ravens. I like the Ravens.
even though they lost, Ravens are easily the best team in the AFC right now. Just even though the Chiefs won last night, they barely won. They didn't look they haven't looked like the Chiefs all year whatsoever. Um, the Dolphins are good, but there's still the question out there of, can they beat a good team? Because I mean, they just got mollywopped by the Ravens, and Ravens are everybody's AFC pick. So if you're getting mollywopped by them, you're probably not going to be going up matching up that well against any other team. The Bills are good, but Josh Allen, that whole team is just a roller coaster. They're either on or they're just off. There's no middle ground. Like they almost lost last night versus the Patriots. Like it just was like a turnover. If Bailey Zappi didn't have 75 interceptions, there's a good chance we could have won that game. You know what I'm saying? So I think as far as AFC goes, definitely the Baltimore Lamar Jackson and those Baltimore Ravens. And then the NFC, just I personally, I don't want to choose the Niners because I feel like everybody's choosing the Niners. They're a little overhyped. They're a good team. I don't think they're gonna make it that. I don't think they're gonna make it past that hump again. The Cowboys, I don't believe in the Cowboys. I feel like something's gonna happen. The Eagles are not. I mean, they look like the Steelers back when they went like 13-0 and then got destroyed in the first round. That's kind of what they are reminding me of this year. It's kind of like a fake hard team, a fake good team, if that makes any sense. Um, but I want to give it to the Lions in the NFC. Could you imagine, if even if they lose, could you imagine the Detroit if they go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
If they host I think they get at least one home playoff game this the in the playoffs, right? Because
Yeah,
they
they
clinched their
do
division.
because they
So
clinched.
so imagine that the first home playoff game in what, 30 years for the Lions.
Yeah,
So I
it's
could
been a
only
long
imagine.
time.
That would honestly, that'd be a stadium I'd go to. I would love to go to Detroit right now for that home playoff game. I don't care how cold it is, just the energy in that building alone. So I gotta go. I gotta go Ravens. I'm gonna go Lions. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
Ravens as the winner. I think Lamar Jackson gets Super Bowl MVP. I think he also gets regular season MVP. But yeah, Ravens Lions. That's my pick. What about you? Where are
Ravens
you going?
Lions. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to copy that AFC pick. I definitely like the Ravens. I do think it's their year. And the crazy thing is they're always getting people are always getting injured on that team. Mark Andrews
Yeah.
out for the whole season. Isaiah Likely, I mean, he stepped up. He's huge. He's
Yes.
been coming up
Yes.
big for them recently. Zay Flowers, the rookie this year, I mean, he's gonna be really, really good. Like that. Gus Edwards, super good running back that they have. Yeah, I like you said, everything you talked about. I do think it's the Ravens year. As long as Lamar stays healthy, I think it's the Ravens year. And then for my NFC, probably gonna have to go with the
See,
probably
NFC is difficult.
probably the I'm gonna go with the Cowboys.
You go with the cow. Shit,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
go with
go
the
with the Ravens
Cowboys.
Cowboys. You're going with the Ravens Cowboys.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm doing it.
we both got teams who haven't been in about 20 plus years. So that's a good sign on the NFC side. But yeah, just football this year has been really weird. There hasn't been like a dominant team. And the
Yeah.
team that you thought was dominant, the Eagles, who have been, went undefeated and they went like 10-1, 11-1, whatever it was. But now, most recently, they look like hot garbage. So you can't even like no one's really stuck out. That's the same with like the MVP race is like nobody's really stuck out as far as MVP race. So that's why it's still I feel like up for grabs. Like this is the first year I think I've heard this late into the conversation for a running back or a wide receiver to be the winner of that. So
Yeah,
it's
for
a
sure.
shocking NFL season, but it's interesting. It's interesting for sure.
Definitely.
And then you want to talk about an interesting season so far. Let's talk about those Detroit Pistons. They finally lost. They finally won. They got
Yeah.
rid of that
They
28 game
finally
losing
lost.
streak. They did plenty of losing. I don't even want to bring that word up anymore if I don't have to with them. But they beat the Raptors. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't my Celtics to be honest with you because it almost was them, but they beat the Raptors. I think it was a close. It was like 128, 126 or something like that, 132,
It was
138.
actually it came down to a 2 point game at the end. I've never seen 1 minute, the last minute of a basketball game. I'm telling you, it felt like it was 30 minutes long. I mean, it was crazy. The Pistons had a 10 point lead on them, and there was like a minute left, and you're like, oh yeah, this game is it's gonna be closed out and everything. They kept fouling the Raptors. Like Schroeder went down there and he got a layup, and they made a shooting foul on him. He hit that. They went. Scotty Barnes went down, scored. They fouled him. They got it to like they got it so close. And I'm sitting here like, are the Pistons really about to sell this? They've been winning like by 10, 15 points all game. But Cade Cunningham kept going down there, slashing and dashing. I mean, he's been insane. If he
Yeah.
wasn't on that team, they'd probably have 30 losses right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably wouldn't have won a game at all without him if it
Yeah,
hasn't
exactly.
because I don't know like nobody else on that team is really doing anything. Obviously,
Yeah,
that's why they've been losing so much. But it's
for
yeah, it
real.
seems that does seem like they almost do want to lose games because that's what they did against the Celtics. They had that 20-point lead at the half, and then they had that third. They came on the third quarter and scored like 6 points. Like a 35-6 run again. And then Cade Cunningham had like nothing going in the second half. He had everything going in the first one, then shut out completely. So it's I think it's coaching. I really like I think that there's something like obviously, you have the players and stuff, but there's that to keep their foot on the gas. Like it doesn't seem like any of that, like, let's keep it going, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's just kind of like, all right, let's go, type of thing. It's not, there's no energy behind it, I feel like.
Yeah,
So
for real.
I mean, we'll see. You think Monty Williams is going to make it out of this season? Do you think that there's hope if even if obviously they're not making the playoffs, but even if they kind of finish with a decent record,
Listen,
um,
I'm gonna say this honestly. I don't know if Monty Williams is gonna make it out, but they don't have a veteran. I mean, everyone on that they have the youngest roster in the league. I mean, their whole
yeah,
starting lineup is pretty much just like 22 years old max, unless you're a bogey. I mean, and
yeah.
I don't really know if you consider him like a team leadership veteran or not,
No, he's
but
just a
I
veteran because
mean,
he's been in the league for a while. That's pretty
10
much.
years, yeah. But literally, I mean, yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it out because even if you just look tonight, if you look, they're playing the Rockets tonight, and I don't know if it's gonna be a blowout, but they're not gonna win.
No,
There's
and the Rockets aren't like an amazing team either. They've definitely been better than everybody expected them to. Shouts out to Ime. I think
yeah,
again, this is where coaching really plays a big part. Is you can see the differences. You got Ime over there in Houston, and then you got Monty over there in Detroit, and just the rosters are a little bit similar. Obviously, one's a little bit better than the other, but just overall coaching, like the Rockets weren't expected to be where they're at right now. I'm sure I don't know what their record is right now, but I know that whatever it is, it's exceeding a lot of people's expectations. And just that, I mean, I know for a fact Ime Udoka he's a great coach. Regardless of
yeah,
what he did to
he
get out of
is.
Boston, he's a great coach,
He is
you
a
know.
great coach.
So
Definitely.
it's just about, it's about fighting for who's in that locker room and how much you really want it. And it doesn't seem like the Pistons, even though they won, it doesn't seem like they really want it. They're not playing like they really want it. They're just kind of playing to play. They're just playing to be in the NBA, if that makes sense.
Playing for that check.
Yeah, exactly. And well, speaking of check, we're gonna go ahead and open up a new segment today. It's already the second episode. We're doing new segments. I know, amazing, great.
Yeah.
This segment is called Hometown Heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you see this person, if you see them nearby and around town at a coffee shop, at a Walmart, something, buy them something, a crumpet, a coffee, get them something, okay? Because if without them, your team is walking home with an L this weekend. I hate to say it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just the way it is. If this person didn't perform how they did, You guys are losing, but the fact that they did what they did is the reason why you guys got to win, and they're the reason that they're the hometown hero this week. Jaden, I'm gonna let you start off. Who's your hometown hero? Who's your pick this
Here, let
week?
me start off. All right. I'm starting off with Isaiah Pacheco. All right. I think he deserves a hometown hero this week, all right? Because I mean, I know you watched that game also, but the Chiefs would not have won that game without him. There is absolutely no way. I mean, Mahomes, I don't really know if you blame it on him, but receivers are dropping balls. He's not hitting them like how he used to. You would think, losing Tyreek Hill wouldn't be this bad. I mean, I know they won the Super Bowl without him last year, but their best receiver is Rasheed Rice.
Yeah, they look
So
even though they won the Super Bowl, they look just like a whole different team. They just look
yeah,
they look lost. They look very lost. But and yeah, Pacheco this whole season's been the only consistent thing on offense for him.
Pacheco though, 18 carries for 130 yards, 7 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. I mean, he carried them again. They would not have won that game without him.
Nah, and just the way he runs, but watching him run is probably the funniest thing. I've never seen a human being run the way he runs.
Like
It's
he almost looks like Nick Chubb. Like they stomp. Like they're like heavy runners. They're like
like
rhinos when they run.
his whole body gets into it. I
Yeah,
don't
I
even
know.
understand it. It's so over animated, but it gets the
Yeah,
job done. So fuck it. Who cares? Run, keep running,
keep
keep
running.
going, dude.
Yeah, for real.
But no, I mean, hey, I backed out Isaiah Pacheco, hometown hero. I like that one a lot. Anybody in the Kansas City area, if you see Mr. Pacheco around, make sure to get him a little coffee, a latte, something. Hook the brother up
You owe him
because
something.
yeah, you guys owe him something for pretty much this whole season. It's bad. You guys know that you guys have got a bad offense, but he's there to be consistent. So I shout out to Pacheco. Um, my pick for hometown hero this week is coming out of the great town of Dallas. All right, now hear me out.
Ooh,
Hear me out
Dallas.
before yeah, Dallas. You go, what? They didn't really have that great of a game. One person stood out though. I'm gonna tell you who stood out. That dude, that boy in the black and white, Brad Allen. Let me tell you, the city of Dallas, you owe
Oh,
that man $1 million. He
yeah.
fucked up so bad. It was so blatantly bad and so blatantly obvious that they messed up. It seems like Jerry Jones literally at halftime went to the official crew and was like, "Hey, I'll give you some. How much you want? You want a jersey, signed jersey? I'll give you whatever you want. I'll give you one of my old rings because I want to get a new one with your help." Like it seemed
Yeah.
like it was so egregious and awful that it was too bad to not be on purpose. And without that awful officiating call, I think the Lions would have won. So Dallas, if you see Brad Allen, give him a hug, give him a kiss, give him a hug because he think he won that game for you guys. No, but in all seriousness, though, my actual is Lamar Jackson for over in Baltimore. He had a really big week. I feel like this was a big week to not only, obviously win as far as playoff implications and stuff, but it was a big week to separate himself in that MVP race. I feel like all year it's no one's really stuck out that much. Between Brock Purdy, you've had Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, you've had Josh Allen in there, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts fell out a couple weeks ago, but nobody's been that standout player. But last night was a great opportunity for Lamar to jump out ahead, and that's exactly what he did, throwing 5 touchdowns. He had 321 yards. They beat Miami 56-19, so it wasn't even like it was a close shootout game. It was just all Ravens the whole time. And that's why I have them as my Super Bowl pick as well, just because Lamar Jackson, he's playing MVP caliber football right now, and he's just the best on the field every time he steps on the field, not even on the team, but just on the field in general. So
It's their year this year.
for sure, it has to be. So, City of Baltimore, you gotta hook the brother up. All right, ignore Brad Allen. That was a joke. Hook the brother up. Lamar Jackson, he's the hometown hero this week. He's the hometown hero for the city of Baltimore.
Yes,
Isaiah
sir.
Pacheco,
Love it.
congratulations for being the hometown hero for the city of Kansas. For the city of Kansas City. That sounds weird to say like that. But yeah, so that was all right, so that's exactly why Lamar Jackson is my hometown hero. Like I said, we got Lamar Jackson coming out of Baltimore. We got Isaiah Pacheco coming out of Kansas City, and they had a great week. So congratulations to those guys. Make sure to get them their coffee, their crumpets, their donuts, whatever they need. Get it for them. I know they got money, but it doesn't matter because they got you the win. So speaking of wins, though, Jaden, I don't know how your last I don't know like month of betting went. For me personally, I wish it didn't happen. I wish it didn't happen because it was awful. But the new year, new bets, new picks. we're going out. We're starting off the year on a banger. We're starting off this whole week. I'm going 100%. I'm not missing anything this week. I guarantee it. Okay. So I don't know about you. I don't know what confidence you have in your picks, but mine is through the roof. So my picks today, we got a couple NBA games going out. So I have a nice little three leg going right now. I got Donovan Mitchell for over 29.5 points. Going up against Toronto, who, I mean, just helped the Pistons take away their losing streak, but they've also not been the best team defensively this year. They got a really bad guard defense. And Donovan Mitchell is, I mean, he's Donovan Mitchell, so he's going to get there. He's going to get down to the rack. He's going to get the buckets. He's going to get to the free throws. So I like that 29.5 points. I probably wouldn't take it any higher than like 30.5, to be quite honest with you. Just in the case that it is a blowout or something like that. It's the NBA, anything could happen, but I like that. That's my first leg. We got Chris Middleton. I got him for 5 rebounds. I got him for over 5 rebounds. I think the line opened up at like 4.5 or something like that, but Prize Picks pumped them up to 5. So I took that. And then Damian Lillard. I got him at 25.5 over, just because Indy is one of the worst defensive teams in the league right now. They give up the most points against for point guards as well too. And Dame. So last time I took Dame on the over on his points, he cashed on that when they were playing. Oh fuck, who were they playing? They were playing another really bad guard defense. I forgot. Oh, they're playing the
The
Cavs. I'm actually
Cavs.
playing the Cavs
Cavs.
actually. So there you go. So that's my parlay. I got Mitchell, Middleton, and Lillard going in. We're starting off the new year hot with a nice little 3 for 3. So, Jaden, what are your picks today?
Yeah, like you were saying, I mean, had a decent month last year. Started off the month really good. Had a little bit of shaky of an ending to the year, but it's okay. There's ups and downs, but we're starting off this year hot. No more of those downs this month. But what we're starting out with for the year, I'm gonna go with Luka Doncic or 33.5 points. Now, I
Okay.
think this is kind of a buy low, get low opportunity because Kyrie is possibly coming back today. I think he's probably coming back because he participated in the morning shoot arounds, but they already said he's going to be on a minute limit. And not long ago, Luka already played the Jazz with Kyrie. Kyrie played his normal minutes and he still dropped 40 points. I mean, their defense is awful. Luka's been
Yeah.
playing out of his mind recently. I mean, his point, if Kyrie also does get ruled out for some reason, those points are going up to 38.5. So I just think it's a buy low, get low opportunity for that one. So I really like Luka's points.
So what do you? So if they do get bumped though, what's the highest you're gonna take that at?
Like if Kyrie doesn't play,
No, if
or if
if
they
if,
just get
Ky- if Kyrie if he's still in, but his points still get bumped.
mm, probably just 34 and a half size. I'd probably just, yeah, 34 and a half. If Kyrie's playing, I could see him getting bumped to like 34 and a half. No higher than that though.
Yeah, because I feel like like you're saying, Kyrie's coming back from injury, so he's gonna be on minute restriction regardless. I don't think he's gonna have full. And then if it's like a blowout or something like that, and he's not playing the whole time, so I like that
Now
Luka
if
pick a lot.
Kyrie is yeah, if Kyrie is playing or isn't playing, I would take it at like 38 and a half. Honestly, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, no, Luka's been a different animal this past month. I'll
It's
tell you for sure.
crazy to say that you take someone's points that high, but I would do it.
Yeah, for Luka, there's
Um
anything is possible with that man.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. And then I'm gonna pair him. This prop is high. I would not take this in any other scenario just because this person is playing this team and he absolutely just he covers this number literally almost every time he plays them. But Giannis against the Pacers at 36 flat. He's at 35 and a half this morning, but I have him on prize picks. Prize picks obviously bumped him just like they did to your Middleton because it went over minus 140. But we both, just for example, I mean, we both have a push opportunity. I think they're both going over though. It's such a bad defense.
Yeah.
But Giannis, he just dropped 64 against them the last time they played, and they didn't give him that winning ball. So he's
Oh
still pissed.
yeah,
He's still
you're
pissed.
right.
Yeah. Think about it. Wait, just think about it.
Shit,
Think
I'm
about
gonna
it.
take that even if they bump that up to 30. If they bump that up
Yeah.
to 45, I'm still taking that.
Think about how bad the Pacers like forward defense just in general is this year. And if you look at people playing against them, I mean, they're almost covering just that 36 points that Giannis needs to get. And he's literally covered that number the last 5 out of 7 times against them. One of those games, he was in foul trouble and they blew him out. So he only got like 27 points, and the other one just had a bad shooting night. But recently, I mean, he's covered it the last 4 times. So
Yeah, if
I
I was
love it.
Miles Turner, I would look out. He's gonna be
Yeah.
coming down the court fast
He
and
is
hot, and
going,
he's gonna be mad.
yeah, he's
Is
going to be
it
mad.
Yeah, so that's gonna be great. But no, I like those. I like those. I like those picks. That's a great way to start off the new year. We're both green and 100% hit rate.
I got
And
one
then,
more that I
oh
that
shit,
I
oh shit, oh
sprinkled a
shit, we
little
going
bit.
big. All right, let's go, let's go.
I got one more I sprinkled. Um, I got Yusuf Nurkic's rebounds at 11 and a half. Now, I got this before this happened, but KD got ruled out. So they took all their props off the board, and Nurkic is probably going to be at like 12, 12.5. Would I take it? Honestly, I'd take it at 12. If it was 12 flat, 12.5, possibly. There's no DeAndre Ayton playing. So he might honestly get close to this in the first quarter.
Now I will say they didn't get bumped at 11 and a half because I just looked live on Prize Picks and he's still at 11 and a half.
Take it.
So
He's still at 11.5 rebounds.
11.5 rebounds is what they had. They put the Suns they put the Suns picks up back up there and he's at 11 and a half.
Take it.
He's
If you have something else you like with it, I would take it.
I'm gonna do it with Luca.
Bet they still
I'm gonna
have him
tell
at
you.
33 and a half, right?
Yep.
Bet.
There you go. Live
Bet
on
that.
camera, folks. You just saw that. That's how they're locks all day,
Yes,
every day
sir.
this year. We're
Yes,
locking
sir.
in for 2024.
Yes, sir. That's how we do it.
All right, but ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 2 of our first half sports talk show. All right, we want to thank you guys for joining in. We want to thank you guys for listening this whole time. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you guys had different hometown hero, what you guys are locking in with this today, this year, this week. Just let us know how your bets are doing. Let us know. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll be back on Wednesday with another one. All right, Jaden, you got anything else to say before we head out?
Nah, that's it. Y'all hope y'all have a great one. We'll see you on the next episode.
All right, let's go. Good luck tonight. Peace.
Peace.